Sadio Mane's story begins far from Europe, in the remote village of Bambaly in Senegal, near the Guinea-Bissau border, and 7 hours' drive from the capital Dakar. Life in the village of Bambaly was very difficult. Farming became the only career choice for young Sadio. Apart from farming, as a child, Sadio always wanted to play football, but his father forbade him from playing football. The reason is, his father is an Islamic religious leader in his village and wants Sadio to focus on his religion. At the age of 7, his father had a stomachache, but there was no hospital near his village, and that was what made his father's condition worse and caused him to die. Although no one in his family wanted him to become a footballer, Sadio grew up surrounded by a family of footballers. His uncle's team practiced just a few meters from his house. Even though they are not a good team, Mane dreams of being among them. To make his dream come true, he often trains with his friends on the dusty streets of his hometown, even without professional coaching training. He makes football an integral part of his life and has a desire to escape the challenges of poverty and make a better life for himself and his family. When he was 15 years old, Sadio was already famous and known as the best player in his village, and his friends called him Ballon or the Ball Wizard. In 2009, he left his village and went to the south of Dakar, where he played for Membour. While playing a match, he was identified by a scout who was watching. He played in his old torn boots and didn't have proper football shorts, but he impressed. He won the heart of Abdou Diatta, a veteran Generation Foot Academy scout, within 15 minutes. His talent saw him invited to trials in the capital Dakar by the Generation Foot Youth Academy, which has produced the likes of Papias Cissé, Diafra Sakho, and Ismaila Sarr. However, the obstacle that hinders his dream is not only geographical, but his family, who are imam in Bambaly and do not allow him to go to the capital Dakar. That's why he fled in the dark, packed his bags at 6 a.m. and took a bus to Dakar with the help of his childhood friend, Luc Djiboune. He didn't have any ID at the Gambian border, but was allowed to pass through with his student papers. In the capital, he was living the dream, but his family was very worried. After a week, they tracked him down and dragged him back to the village. It was the worst day of his life, and he felt hatred for his family. Initially, he did not want to return to his village, but he agreed to return on one condition. He only attended school for 1 more year. After that, he was free to take part in football. Since then, he has had full support from his family to pursue his football dreams. In the 2010-2011 season, Sadio helped Generation Foot achieve promotion to the 2nd Division. Under the watchful guidance of the local football academy, Mane honed his skills and caught the attention of scouts from FC Metz in France. After several years at Generation Foot, at the age of 19, Sadio made the life-changing decision to leave Senegal and pursue his dream of becoming a professional footballer by joining Metz in France. This move was made possible due to the partnership between Metz and Generation Foot. Mane's journey took a significant leap when he joined FC Metz in French Ligue 2 in January 2012. He made his professional debut on the 14th of January 2012, coming on as a 75th-minute substitute for Kevin Diaz in a 0-1 home defeat against Bastia in Liga 2. Although the transition to European football was challenging, Mane quickly adapted to the demands of the game, demonstrating his exceptional pace, agility, and technical ability. His impressive performances soon caught the attention of clubs across Europe. He made 19 appearances in his first league season and scored once in a 2-5 loss to Guingamp, and provided an assist in a 1-1 draw against Le Havre. Unfortunately, Sadio was unable to save Metz from relegation to the Championnat National at the end of the season. In the summer of 2012, Mane was part of the Senegal team in the 2012 Olympic tournament. He started every match and provided an assist in a 1-1 draw against Great Britain as they progressed through Group A as runners-up to Great Britain before losing 4-2 after extra time in the quarterfinals to eventual champions Mexico. After his impressive performances with Metz and Senegal, he caught the eye and attracted the interest of other clubs, including the sporting director of Austrian Bundesliga club Red Bull Salzburg, Ralf Rangnick. Metz initially set an asking price of €2 million for Mane. After receiving several offers throughout the summer, Metz raised the asking price to €4 million. On the 31st of August 2012, Red Bull Salzburg paid an asking price of €4 million for Mane and secured the move. It was the third largest Metz transfer fee ever received by the club. At Salzburg, Mane began to make a name for himself, scoring 2 goals in his second game for the club. He scored his first hat-trick for the club in a 3-1 win away at SC Karlsdorf in the third round of the Austrian Cup. Then, he scored his first hat-trick in the Austrian Bundesliga in a 3-0 win away to Grodig. He then recorded 20 goals and 11 assists in all competitions in his first season at Salzburg, primarily playing at left wing. The 2013 to 2014 season saw Mane continue his impressive form. He scored another hat-trick as Salzburg won 7-0 against Horn in the Cup semi-final. He ended the season with 23 goals and 19 assists in 50 appearances and helped Salzburg win the domestic double. His performances in Austria attracted interest across Europe, including Jurgen Klopp's Borussia Dortmund, Spartak Moscow, and Southampton. At the end of the season, Mane forced Salzburg to sell him. He refused to take part in training and play in Salzburg's most important match at that time to qualify for the Champions League. On the 1st of September 2014, Sadio transferred to Premier League club Southampton for a club record signing of £11.8 million, signing a 4-year contract. He made his debut 22 days later in a 2-1 League Cup win over Arsenal, winning a penalty for Southampton's first goal. He made his first league appearance in a 2-1 win over Queen's Park Rangers, assisting Ryan Bertrand for the first goal of the match. He scored his first goal for the club in a 1-0 win over Stoke City. In December and January, he scored in 3 consecutive games against Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Unfortunately, Sadio was not included in Senegal's squad for the first match of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations after suffering a calf injury in the match against Arsenal. He then returned to the squad in their final 2 group games against South Africa and Algeria. Back in Southampton, Sadio scored 2 late winning goals in 1-0 wins against Queen's Park Rangers and Crystal Palace. However, Sadio was left out of Southampton's starting lineup against Liverpool as punishment for arriving late to the stadium. During Southampton's final home game of the season, Sadio scored a hat-trick in 2 minutes 56 seconds in a 6-1 win over Aston Villa to set a new Premier League record for the fastest hat-trick. This record has been held since 1994 by Robbie Fowler, who scored 3 goals against Arsenal in 4 minutes 33 seconds. Sadio finished the season with 10 goals in 32 appearances in all competitions. In the 2015-2016 season, Sadio started the campaign by registering 1 goal and 2 assists in a Europa League match against Vitesse Arnhem. On the 2nd of December, he took 39 seconds to open the scoring against Liverpool in the League Cup quarter-finals, but the Saints ultimately lost 6-1 at home. On the 2nd of January 2016, he was again left out of the starting lineup by Ronald Koeman for the match against Norwich City, when he arrived late for the pre-match meeting. He received his first red card on the 12th of March in a 2-1 win against Stoke City for a collision with Eric Peters, although this was quickly overturned on appeal. After failing to score in the league for over 4 months, Sadio scored twice in a 3-2 win over Liverpool, followed by 5 goals in the next 5 games, including a hat-trick in a 4-2 win against Manchester City. He finished the season as Southampton's top scorer with 15 goals in all competitions. After 2 impressive seasons with Southampton, Sadio's impressive performances caught the attention of Liverpool FC, one of the most famous clubs in English football. On the 28th of June 2016, Sadio made his big breakthrough and joined Liverpool for a transfer fee of £34 million, which could rise to £36 million by signing a 5-year contract. His transfer fee made him the most expensive African player in history at that time. On the 14th of August, he made his Premier League debut for the Reds, scoring the 4th goal in a 4-3 away win against Arsenal. In the match against Everton at Goodison Park, Sadio scored the only goal of the 227th Merseyside Derby in added time. On the 11th of February 2017, Sadio scored 2 goals within 2 minutes against Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield for Liverpool's first league win in 2017. Despite missing the latter part of the campaign through injury, Sadio was awarded the Liverpool Player of the Season award and named in the PFA Team of the Year after scoring 13 league goals in his first season with Liverpool. Sadio got the opportunity to represent Senegal again at the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon and scored goals in Senegal's opening 2 matches against Tunisia and Zimbabwe. After a goalless draw in the quarter-final match against Cameroon, he missed a penalty in the shootout, which knocked Senegal out of the tournament. In the first match of the 2017-2018 season, Sadio scored Liverpool's first goal of the season in a 3-3 draw against Watford. He was named Premier League Player of the Month after scoring a goal in each of the Reds' 3 games in August. In the 5-0 defeat against Manchester City, he was shown a straight red card for a high boot against Ederson, resulting in a 3-match ban. Sadio, Salah, Firmino, and Coutinho form a prolific attacking quartet, nicknamed the Fab Four. In the first leg of the Champions League last 16 tie, Sadio scored his first hat-trick for Liverpool in a 5-0 away win against Porto. Then, with a goal in a 3-0 win over Bournemouth, he overtook Bambaly's record to become the highest-scoring Senegalese player in Premier League history. During the 2018 UEFA Champions League final against Real Madrid, Sadio scored Liverpool's equalizer in a 3-1 defeat. In doing so, he became the first Senegalese player to score in the final of the competition. Sadio finished the season with 20 goals and 44 appearances in all competitions. In the summer of 2018, Sadio was named in Senegal's squad for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. He scored the opening goal in a 2-2 draw against Japan in the group stage, but was eliminated after finishing below Japan in fair play points. On the 22nd of November 2018, Sadio signed a new long-term agreement with Liverpool. In the match against Burnley, Sadio scored twice in a 4-2 win, which was his 50th competitive goal for Liverpool. 3 days later, he scored twice in a 3-1 win over Bayern Munich to help Liverpool advance to the Champions League quarter-finals. During Liverpool's next match, he broke another Bambaly record to become the Senegalese player with the most goals scored in a single Premier League season, after scoring his 17th goal in a 2-1 win over Fulham. In the last Premier League campaign, Sadio scored twice in a 2-0 win over Wolves. His brace took him to 22 goals for the campaign, which saw him share the Premier League Golden Boot Award with Salah and Aubameyang. In the Champions League final, Sadio helped Liverpool win an early penalty against Tottenham just 24 seconds after kickoff, after his cross was judged to have hit Moussa Sissoko's arm inside the penalty area. Salah then converted from the penalty spot to open the scoring, and Liverpool ultimately won the match 2-0 to claim the title. Sadio finished the season with 26 goals in all competitions. His impressive performance earned him a nomination for the PFA Players Player of the Year award. He was also named in the PFA Team of the Year. What makes him special is that he never stopped believing. In the meeting ahead of the match against Barcelona, he was very confident that we could do it. Even though we lost our 2 best players, he pushed the players hard to give everything they could and tried to take the pressure off us, said Jurgen Klopp. Sadio was once again called up to Senegal's final squad for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. He scored 2 goals and missed a penalty in a 3-0 win against Kenya, as Senegal finished second in the group stage and advanced to the knockout stages. Sadio scored the only goal of the match and missed another penalty as Senegal won 1-0 over Uganda in the round of 16. He played in Senegal's next 3 matches as they progressed to the final, but lost 1-0 to Algeria. Despite finishing the competition as runner-up, Sadio was named to the team of the tournament. In the 2019-2020 season, Sadio started the campaign by scoring 2 goals in the UEFA Super Cup final against Chelsea and helped Liverpool win 5-4 on penalties and was named Man of the Match. On his 100th Premier League appearance for Liverpool, Sadio scored his 50th league goal for the club in a 2-1 win over Leicester City. On the 21st of October, Sadio was included in the shortlist of 30 players for the 2019 Ballon d'Or and finished 4th, behind Messi, Van Dijk, and Ronaldo. Later that month, Liverpool won the FIFA Club World Cup, with Sadio setting up the winning goal scored by Firmino in the final against Flamengo. On the 7th of January 2020, Sadio was named CAF African Player of the Year. In the match against Bournemouth, Sadio scored the winning goal in a 2-1 win at Anfield as Liverpool set a new English League record of 22 consecutive home wins. At the end of the season, Sadio recorded 22 goals in all competitions and helped Liverpool end their 30-year Premier League title drought. In the 2020 to 2021 season, Sadio started the season positive for COVID-19, causing his performance to falter at the start of the season. On the final day of the season, Sadio scored twice in a 2-0 win over Crystal Palace, securing third place for Liverpool and qualification for the following Champions League season. Sadio stated that the 2020 to 2021 season was the worst season of his career, but still managed to end the season with 16 goals in 48 appearances. At the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, Sadio starred for Senegal as they won the competition for the first time. In the final against Egypt, Sadio had a penalty saved in the 7th minute, but then scored the winning goal in the shootout. As well as scoring the decisive goal to win the trophy, Sadio scored 3 goals and 2 assists since the start of the tournament and was named Player of the Tournament. After the tournament, he was appointed Grand Officer of the National Order of the Lion by the President of Senegal. The following season, Sadio scored his 100th goal for Liverpool in a 3-0 home win against Crystal Palace. On the 16th of October, Sadio scored his 100th Premier League goal in a 5-0 win against Watford. On his 30th birthday, Sadio scored Liverpool's equaliser in a 2-2 draw against Manchester City, followed by 2 goals against the same opponent in the FA Cup semi-finals. In the Champions League semi-final, he scored the winning goal for Villarreal to secure Liverpool's place in the final, which they ultimately lost 1-0 to Real Madrid. Sadio ended the season with 23 goals in all competitions, but failed to help Liverpool achieve a historic quadruple after finishing as runners-up in the Premier League and Champions League, but winning the EFL Cup and FA Cup. Simon Brundish, a sports scientist who studies the reasons for Liverpool's recent dominance, he ranked Mane among the top 5 finishers in the world. He can stop and start faster than anyone I have ever seen. His conversion rate is 28%, even better than Lionel Messi at his best. In the 3rd round of qualifying for the 2022 World Cup, a match that saw him face Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah, Sadio scored the winning goal in the penalty shootout against Egypt after a 1-1 aggregate draw and sent his country to Qatar. On the 4th of June 2022, Sadio scored a hat-trick in a 3-1 win against Benin to become Senegal's all-time top scorer with 32 goals, surpassing Henry Camara. On the 22nd of June 2022, Sadio joined Bayern Munich on a 3-year contract for a transfer fee of 32 million euros, which could increase to 41 million euros. Sadio Mane made his official debut in the DFL Super Cup and scored his debut goal in a 5-3 win over RB Leipzig. He followed it up a week later with his first Bundesliga goal in a 6-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt. In the match against Werder Bremen, Sadio suffered an injury and had to leave the field after 20 minutes. This injury prevented him from competing in the 2022 World Cup, and he had to undergo surgery on his right calf bone. He was injured for 3 months and returned as a substitute in Bayern's 3-0 win against Union Berlin. After the Champions League quarter-final match against Manchester City, Sadio was suspended and fined by Bayern following reports that he punched teammate Leroy Sané in the dressing room. At the end of the season, Sadio recorded 12 goals in 38 appearances and helped Bayern win the Bundesliga title. In the following season, Saudi Pro League club Al Nassr announced the signing of Sadio Mane for a transfer fee of $30 million. Sadio Mane is estimated to earn around $830,000 per week without taxes, and that is enough to make him one of the highest paid footballers in the world. Sadio then revealed that his former Liverpool teammates Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and Firmino had previously recommended him to join the Saudi Pro League. Sadio made his debut after replacing Abdulaziz Al Aliwa in a 1-1 draw against Zamalek in the Arab Club Champions Cup, which they eventually won by beating Al Hilal in the final. He scored his first goal on the 14th of August in a 2-1 loss against Al Ettifaq in the league. Sadio ended his first season with Al Nassr with 15 goals in all competitions. But Sadio is more than just a great footballer. He is also a generous philanthropist who has dedicated his time and money to helping others. In 2019, Sadio donated £250,000 to build a school in his hometown of Bambaly. In March 2020, Sadio donated £41,000 to the National Committee fighting COVID-19 in Senegal. He lost his father due to illness because there was no hospital in Bambaly. So in 2021, he donated £500,000 for the construction of a hospital in Bambaly. In addition, he has also financed the building of a petrol station and a post office for his local community, supplying the school with free laptops and internet from the 4G internet service he financed in the village. In total, he has spent more than £700,000 on these upgrades. He also commissioned a €70 a month stipend to each family in his 2,000-person hometown. This is roughly equivalent to a month's wage for a Senegalese citizen on a minimum wage. On the day he left Liverpool, he sent 150 packages to Liverpool FC employees ranging from cleaners to security guards. Everyone got chocolates with Sadio's portrait and a handwritten card. He is also a devout Muslim and is sometimes seen praying before the start of each match. Why do I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, or 2 planes? What good do these things do to me in the world? I'm hungry and I have to work on the pitch. I endured hard times playing football barefoot. I had no education and many other things. But today, with what I earned from football, I can help my community. I built schools, stadiums, and provided clothes, shoes, and food to people who are in extreme poverty. In addition, I give €70 per month to all the people in the very poor areas of Senegal who contribute to the economy of their families. I don't need to show off luxury cars, luxury houses, travel, and even airplanes about what life has given me, said Sadio in an interview with a Ghanaian newspaper. Well, that's the story of a boy with a dream, without a father, growing up in a remote area of Senegal and facing seemingly impossible odds to become one of the best players in the world. Sadio once said, "You have to dream in life because everyone's allowed to dream." Thanks to his determination, his example, and his generosity, more and more children in Bambaly, Senegal, Africa, and around the world have dreams that have the opportunity to come true. Talking about determination, you will be amazed by Antony's determination to go from living in one of the most dangerous hoods in Brazil to signing €100 million deals and becoming one of the most expensive players in the world.